Thing of the week, it's your ink thing of the week. Yeah! Hello there. The search for the perfect stylus continues, and today's journey we're going to look at the Wacom One. This is a very well-regarded stylus in the Reddit communities, so it's about time we take a look at that here. So let's take a closer look at this stylus and see how it scores and compares to others. Alright, let's take a look at the Wacom One. And here it is, a fairly simple but slightly more interesting design that we generally see with other styli. A couple things that stick out. Obviously, the two-tone nature of the shaft is a bit unusual, so that's a bit of an artistic touch. Then they have Wacom here on the edge, generally well done. It doesn't stick out, but it is obvious. It has the button right here, and has kind of actually a little circular ring around the button, which is kind of an aesthetic touch, which looks nice. And then it does have this kind of, it kind of blossoms out. So instead of being a straight shaft toward the tip, it does have this kind of edge that expands a bit. And presumably that's to allow you to kind of take a grip where your fingers get close to the nib, and then you can write that way. Visually, when I took a look at images, I did not care aesthetically for this, but when you see this in person, it's much more subtle than it appears on videos and images. So that's just something to keep in mind. In terms of the sound of the writing tip, pretty standard. But again, that depends on the nib itself, and you can change that by switching out the nibs. The eraser button is great. You can find it tactically just by turning the shaft until you come across it. You press the button, and it works really well. So pretty solid styli, but also a fairly basic implementation. So this is kind of what I would call a fundamental focus styli, which is not a bad thing. Let's go ahead and go to the scoreboard and see how it stacks up. All right, now scoring it, we're going to start with cost, and the Wacom One actually costs $30. That's actually at the edge of our point system, so it does just barely, but it earns a full 3 points for being a relatively inexpensive stylus. It has a button eraser. Eraser works perfectly well. You can find it without a lot of effort, so I'm going to give it 3 points for that. There is no end cap eraser. There's no side magnet, and actually there's nothing particularly special about the stylus. But despite that, it does earn a solid 6 points. And let's take a look and see where that places this on the scoreboard. Okay, those 6 points puts the Wacom One right in the middle of the pack, slightly ahead of the average. The cost really pushes it over the top and makes it something to consider, while it still remains a very functional and solid stylus at the same time. A lot of great company around it, and I think it deserves its position quite well. All right, that does it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.